In the headlines, 2 dead, 3 missing as passenger boat burns to ashes in Niger State. Husband, 1 other arrested for allegedly killing wife in Borno. Police confirmed deaths of DPO, 2 others in Benue Bank robbery. And on the foreign scene, Israel directs citizens to immediately leave Egypt and Jordan. Hello and welcome to the news update. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. Confirmed death, 3 others reported missing after a wooden passenger boat was scattered by fire shortly after taking off at Kacha, a community in Kacha local government area of Niger State. And according to an eyewitness, Abdul Malik Adamu, the incident happened at about 6 p.m. shortly after the boat finished loading goods and passengers who were retiring to their villages after the weekly Kacha market day. He said that the boat operator was powering the engine when it caught fire, forcing the passengers to scamper for safety. Confirming the incident, the leader of the boat operators in Kacha said the boat was burnt to ashes along with goods worth millions of naira. He confirmed that 3 persons, who were mostly children, are yet to be accounted for. Trust TV Abubakar Akoti gives us an update.
The incident happened around 6 p.m. on Friday when the boat engine caught fire due to mechanical failure and inflamed a jerrycan of petrol stored inside the boat. There were 145 people on board, and the occupants were from Dambo and adjoining communities in Kogi State. They were on their way back from Kacha Market when the incident happened, and more than half of them were said to be women and children who could not swim even when the incident happened. And when the engine caught fire, they were all confused and started jumping into the water despite the fact that they could not swim. And what saved the situation, according to eyewitness, was that the boat had not gone far from the point of takeoff, and local divers immediately launched a search operation, and they were able to rescue them, even though 2 children lost their lives. However, they said the situation worsened because there were about 15 jerrycans loaded with petrol and stored near the engine of the boat, which the boat operator used as a reserve in case the fuel in the tank got finished. Used them to the reserve to fill the tank. And then, so when the engine caught fire, it's extended to the jerrycan loaded with petrol, and then it escalates, and then the canoe or the boat was burnt to ashes.
Around the Borno State Police Command on Friday confirmed the arrest of 2 suspects, Adamu Ibrahim and Bukar Wadia, for allegedly killing one Fatima Bukar, a 24-year-old housewife. And Bukar was a resident of the Kacheri Bayan Gedang Dambe area of Maiduguri Metropolis, Borno State. This is contained in a statement signed by the spokesperson of the command, ASB Sani Kamilu, and made available to newsmen in Maiduguri on Friday. Kamilu said that there was no evidence of constructive breakage or entry into the house, and only the husband has the key to the house, but investigations are still ongoing. Trust TV's Bitrus Kurti gives us an update.
Alhaji Bukar. Concerning the case on Fatima Alhaji Bukar, who was killed last week, the Borno State Police Command so far has made some progress in its investigations, and that it has arrested 2 suspects. One is the husband, Adamu Alhaji Ibrahim, and also Bukar Wadia, 39 years old. And the suspects are currently under the custody of the police. The police also recovered some exhibits, which include 1 short pistol, a handbag rope, a rock carpet stained with blood, knife, Honda vehicle, and a stained pillow. The police said during their preliminary investigation that they discovered that there was no forced entry into the house where she was murdered, and that the only person that have access to that is the husband. And also during their investigation, the police discovered that the couples had domestic disputes over an alleged extramarital affair by the husband at their matrimonial home. It is still investigating the case, and that after full investigation that they are going to prosecute the case in court.
Thank you for the update, Security. Now, the police in Benue on Saturday confirmed that the Otukpo Divisional Police Officer, CSP John Adiko, and 3 other operatives were killed during the armed robbery raid on commercial banks in Otukpo town and the state. And the armed robbers caused a stir in the heart of Otukpo residents when they invaded some banks in the area on Friday afternoon. Police Public Relations Officer SP Catherine Anena, in a statement, also confirmed that 5 banks were robbed simultaneously. Anena added that the police operatives later pursued and gunned down 2 of the robbers while still on the trail of others who abandoned the vehicle and ran into the bush along Otukpo-Tarako axis. She noted that investigation into the matter had commenced, but was however silent on the number of civilians killed during the robbery incident. And meanwhile, Governor Hyacinth Alia has condemned the armed robbery attack on the commercial banks in Otukpo town and sympathized with the families of those who were gruesomely murdered by the robbers during the robbery. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has warned criminal elements in the country to lay down their arms or be eliminated. Lagbaja gave the warning on Friday at the graduation of 655 battle-ready troops of Exercise Restore Hope 5 at the Nigerian Army Training Center, Kachia, Kaduna State. The Chief of Army Staff said that the Nigerian Army would sustain the trajectory of training young soldiers to enhance their combat proficiency. He explained that the essence of the training was to make the troops better equipped to confront the security challenges in the country. The training, codenamed Exercise Restore Hope 5, is to adopt a personnel who freshly passed out to the challenges posed by the ever-changing nature of threat within Nigeria's security environment. Now, drivers and passengers in Yenagoa metropolis have called on the federal government to bring back fuel subsidy. They made the call when Trust TV crew visited some motor terminals to ascertain the cost of transportation in and outside Bayelsa State. Friday, Ebimawe Peter completes the report.
Peace Sunday and Uzubechukwu Anyanko, who are passengers at a popular motor park in Yenagoa, speak on their displeasure following the cost of transportation. They, however, call on the federal government to bring down the price of fuel in order to reduce the cost of transportation in Nigeria.
No, I not travel again. Only today I just managed to go there. Because of the transportation, it's too much. So now I make another travel again. IS 25 or 2,000. Now we dey pay, but now 5,000, 4,500. I mean, I don't understand. Even this travel, I supposed to carry my children travel, but no way. I just carry myself the travel. I want to make the government go and carry the fuel down. Let the fuel go down and everything for this Nigeria, no way again.
From Yenagoa to Onitsha, formerly it's 1,500 before. Now it's almost 5,000 naira. So that the way things is going is not comfortable. I used to travel before formerly, and this one I'm going is because of burial. Without it, I used to this thing because of the high cost of things. So there's no way to travel sometimes ago. Government have to first of all to carry fuel down. That is fuel problem first, and the other these things, food to chop, no way. Nigeria is not as in be before. So
Transport operators say the cost of fuel price has reduced their customer base and appeal to the federal government to bring back fuel subsidy. They, however, promise to bring down their charges as soon as government restores the fuel subsidy.
We normally take a route like from Bayelsa here to Onitsha, like some of 3,000, 2,500, as the case may be. But today, it's 4,500 naira from here to Onitsha. I see precisely from here to Onitsha, because you have applied Bayelsa, Owerri, Onitsha route for now.
No more passenger because of the cost of the fuel. Passengers are not traveling again. When somebody asks how much are you taking from here to Onitsha, he said 5,000 or 4,000. He said no, it's too cost. So well, let me do Webil. And you can stay from here to 1 hour or 2 hours or 10 hours, even though you cannot see passenger to travel back to Onitsha back again. I want the federal government should bring back the fuel subsidy.
The fuel is too cost. That is why our price is too cost. So once they lower the fuel price, then the transport service will lower.
Premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, is sold at 635 naira in some filling stations in Yenagoa. Friday, Ebimobo with Peter, Trust TV News, Yenagoa.
Now moving on to Lagos State, the hearing of a 12-year-old boy with the missing intestine who died at Lagos State University Teaching Hospital commenced on Friday before the coroner. Bola Folarin Williams, sitting at Magistrate Court 4 at Butemeta, Lagos. At the proceedings, a counsel to the Lagos State government, Ola Akinde, informed the court that necessary tests and examinations have been conducted on the corpse, and confirmed that there is a post-mortem report. He also said the Office of the State Attorney General is aware of the letters from solicitors to the father of the deceased seeking to preserve the corpse, while the mother seeks the release of the corpse to her for burial. She noted that the state is not against any of the requests, but will leave the decision on what to do to the court. The coroner in her response said it may be necessary for the father and the mother of the deceased to file their respective applications on what to do with the corpse, and so that the court can rule on it. In the interim, he urged the court to preserve the corpse since the coroner had already assumed jurisdiction over the matter. The case was adjourned to November 24 for further proceedings. Arewa Consultative Forum have organized an event in Kano to afford youth the opportunity to display cutting-edge innovations. Trust TV's correspondent Abdulaziz Ibrahim has more details.
On display are items achieved by the remarkable talent and the entrepreneurial spirit of young individuals from the northern part of the country. Arewa Consultative Forum, in collaboration with Dangote Business School and Media Trust Group, organized this conference and exhibition to showcase productive and innovative capacity of northern Nigeria youth.
The important matter of empowering our youth needs to make them more innovative and productive is a task for all of us. It does not lie on government alone. I am happy to note that ACF, through its dynamic and very well-led Kano chapter, is taking a formidable lead in that direction.
In a series of engaging and interactive sessions, entrepreneurs, business leaders, and government officials shared insights on how to support and invest in these youth to foster economic development in the country.
The North, while it is the largest and most populous, it is also the one bearing the brand of the stick in terms of indices of development. We have to do something about it.
We cannot create the youth because they are already here. So what we need to do is how do we work with them and move them to the productive side of the pendulum? And that is, we need to build trust amongst ourselves. We need to redefine the northern ideology. This patch of land north of the River Niger and Benue has 120 million people of different ethnicities and religions on it. And so we need a united front.
The conference and exhibition not only provided a platform for youth to present their ideas and products, but also highlights their potential to drive economic growth and innovation.
We have the effort so that we can build a big factory in Kano State, because if you go there, even if you go to the farm center, you will see the kind of machine that are producing is different from our own. Our own can use light. Even if there is no light, you can use gas, because here in Nigeria we don't have much light.
Okay, we exhibited a brand box for a three-wheeled vehicle, properly known as Adedeta Sahu. It has 4 functions. Adedeta Sahu doesn't have an engine oil monitoring system. It doesn't have a gear monitoring system, engine valve and monitoring system, and some of them doesn't have a charging point. So we implemented that.
Clearly, these young inventors are a testament to the northern region's capacity to be a hub of innovation and productivity. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
You're watching the news updates on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at the growing concern over rampant open defecation practice in Oyo State. Details of the story and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Hello and welcome to Creative Lounge on Trust TV. My name is Ahmed Mohammed Bello and I'm going to be taking you through my journey as an artist.
Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV. Try grating it. I am going to show you how to prepare a Singaporean chicken rice. Like this. Back here and get my carrots ready. Put in some amount of oil on the skin. I will now go ahead and take off the chicken, spread it to a desired shape.
If you're just joining us, this is the news update, a recap of some of our top stories. We told you earlier that 3 missing as passenger boat burns to ashes in Niger State. And a husband, 1 other arrested for allegedly killing wife in Borno. Moving on to other news. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has emphasized the need for sacrifice from citizens and religious leaders in order to restore Nigeria to its rightful position in the international community. Tinubu assured Nigerians that even though the nation is currently facing challenges, better days are ahead. The president disclosed this when he received in audience a delegation of Southwest Muslim faithful led by Rasaki Oladejo in Abuja. The president explained that his administration's policies aim to create a fair, better and honest society where hard work is rewarded and laziness is discouraged, while acknowledging that the current situation may seem complex and challenging. He reassured everyone that it will eventually get better. President Tinubu also mentioned the difficult decision of removing the petroleum subsidy, highlighting that this was necessary for Nigeria's sustainability. There's a rising concern over rampant open defecation practice in Oyo State, as National Bureau of Statistics said 54% of the population of the state engage in the act. Recent reports indicate Nigeria has overtaken India to become the #1 country in the world in terms of open defecation practice. Hamid Oyegbade files in this report.
Experts expressed worry that the projection to end open defecation in Nigeria by 2025 might not be realistic, given the current pace in the effort to eliminate the practice. In the southwest, Oyo State is leading in open defecation practice with 54% of its 8 million population engaging in the act. Ekiti State is the second in the region with 41% of the population of the state engaging in open defecation, followed by Ondo, 39%, Osun, 18%, Ogun is 14%, while Lagos State is 3%. In Ibadan, capital of Oyo State, the people of Jago community in Onara local government area of the state said open defecation exposed them to illnesses and many security risks.
We go along with our cutlass. That means the person that knows deeply about the shit, you will dig the ground, shit there, and put the sand on it.
That they fell inside the well. So those are one of the hazards. Snake bites is one of it.
Meanwhile, with intensive sensitization against the negative consequences of open defecation, many households in Jago community have constructed and begun to use toilets.
When we were going to the bush to defecate because we did not have toilets, we were always going to hospitals because of sicknesses. Now that we have toilets, we no longer perceive odor or feces. Even in the night, we can easily use the toilet. We go into the bush to defecate. We eventually realized that it was not good, and we have built our toilets that we are using now.
Among the 36 states in Nigeria, only Jigawa State has been certified open defecation free in the country. A water, sanitation and hygiene specialist with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Monday Johnson charged all state governors across the country to intensify efforts towards ending open defecation practice by 2025.
The aim of the federal government setting this date was for all the state governments to key into that date and start the program in all the states, aiming at achieving that goal. As you can see, as of today, we have only one state that have been able to meet up that target, which is Jigawa State.
Experts said if the implementation efforts to eliminate open defecation in Nigeria continues with the current pace, it might take up to 2046 to end open defecation in Nigeria. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News.
And away from Oyo State, in a bid to connect West Africa to Eastern Africa, Uganda Airlines Friday commenced flight operations to Nigeria through the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. This is coming 21 years after both countries signed the bilateral air service agreement for flight operations. The inaugural flight of the airline touched down at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport from Entebbe International Airport with passengers and a government delegation. The A330-800 aircraft was received with a ceremonial water cannon salute from the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria Firefighting and Rescue Services. Just as the airline commenced the 3 weekly flights to Lagos, the federal government has granted approval for it to operate to Abuja and Kano airports in line with the Single Africa Air Transport Market. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, said the airline was granted 2 additional designations in the spirit of African Open Skies policy. And away from Nigeria, let's take a look at the story where Israeli has directed its citizens to immediately leave Egypt and Jordan. The National Security Council said on Saturday as regional tensions flared over the war in Gaza. The notice comes just days after Israel recalls its diplomats from Turkey as a security precautions following an early request for its citizens to leave as well. The evacuation calls came after days of protests across the Middle East over Israel's bombardment of the Gaza Strip. The war ignited after Hamas militants stormed into Israel from the Gaza Strip, taking more than 200 hostages and killing at least 1,400 people, mostly civilians who were shot, mutilated and burned to death, according to Israeli officials. Israel has since vowed to destroy Hamas, and a bombing campaign launched in response has leveled entire city blocks in Gaza. And 4,137 Palestinians have been killed so far, mostly civilians, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. And now we look at sports. Morocco plans to build a large stadium in Beslimain near Casablanca and upgrade 6 others in preparation for co-hosting the 2030 World Cup. The Prime Minister's office said on Friday, and a deal was signed the same day between the government and state-owned fund CDG to finance the new stadium to be ready by 2030 for a total cost of 5 billion dirhams, equivalent to $500 million, the office said in a statement. The 6 stadiums to be renovated to host the African Cup of Nations in 2025 and the 2030 World Cup are in the cities of Agadir, Casablanca, Fez, Marrakesh, Rabat and Tangier, it said. Earlier this month, FIFA allocated the 2030 World Cup to Morocco, Spain and Portugal, but also said Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay would host their matches, 3 matches rather, to mark the tournament centenary. Morocco will be the second African country to host the World Cup after South Africa in the year 2010. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live streaming for more news, programs and documentaries. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and bye for now.